AV in your ears, that's ambush being giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my voice, Steve, Fascination Street. You already know, let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you...
Hi, this is Johan Svensson from the Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, and you are listening to Fascination Street Podcast.
AV in your ears, that's ambush being giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my voice, Steve, Fascination Street. You already know, let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you...
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with Devin Kawaoka. You may know Devin as Kai, the surgeon from Chicago Med, or you may know Devin as Charlie, Brian's doting hubby and co-parent on the show Shrinking. Heck, you might even know him as that one crazy dental office worker from Lucifer. We didn't even talk about him being on Goliath, but he was. In this episode, we talked about what made him want to be an actor, how he started off wanting to be a professional skier, and he was really good too, but then some things happened, and he got into acting, fell in love, and never looked back. So in this episode, we talk about some of his acting roles. We spent a lot of time on the Broadway play that he was a part of. He was in the show when it was on Broadway and when it went to Los Angeles to run there. It was called Slave Play. So we talk a lot about slave play and how it affected him as an actor and as a human. We talk about some of his other influences, why he went to NYU Tisch, and why he fell so deeply and madly in love with the television show 6 Feet Under. We do talk a little bit about some of his other work as a producer and in acting and some other things. And then we end on screenwriting. Devin has recently started writing screenplays for television pilots. He has got a couple under his belt and is currently shopping the first one. So we talk about why he wanted to be a screenwriter, how it's going, and some of the differences between streaming television shows and network television shows, and why he wants to dabble in both. Again, don't forget to check out Devin Kawaoka on Chicago Med as Kai the surgeon, and Shrinking as Charlie the doting hubby and new father. And this is my conversation with the wonderfully talented and always learning and growing Devin Kawaoka.
Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated.
Welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, Devin Kawaoka. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a beautiful Friday, a little bit of a heat wave here in LA, but it wouldn't be LA without a heat wave. So
Wait a minute. I thought the whole reason everybody moved to LA is because it's a constant 74 and sunny.
I wish that would be my dream. I realized living here that I am a desert person. I like the cold night and a brisk morning. And it's nice when, you can wear a sweatshirt all day and then take it off around like noon and then like have to put it back on in the evening. That's my dream. But LA, it's up in the 90s these days.
Well, I'm in San Antonio.
Oh,
so 90s is for children. In February of this year, we had 1 or 2 days in the 90s in February. We were like, what is happening? But for some reason, like today is 40 degrees outside. I don't know what's going on. It's so weird.
It's crazy.
So, Devin, what I like to do is I like to start from the beginning. It helps us understand how the guests got from where they were to where they are. So where were you born and raised, man? Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Rochester, New York, in a suburb called Brighton, which is right outside of the city proper. My mom still lives there, actually.
Oh.
Go there for Christmas every single year. Born and raised in the same house the entire time. I was in one of those schools where there were 300 people in my class. We went from kindergarten all the way to senior year together. We never broke up or schools never came together. It was just primary, elementary, middle school, high school.
Really?
Yeah.
You went to school with the same people for all 13 years?
Yeah, basically. I mean, some people moved, but
sure.
For all intents and purposes, yeah. I knew the same people from beginning to end.
The way I grew up is we went to an elementary school. When it was time to move into middle school, they took half of that elementary school and half of another elementary school and put them into the middle school. And then when it was time to go to high school, they took half of that middle school and half of another middle school and put those two into the high school. So depending on which side of the tracks you lived on, either you were going to see them at the next school or you weren't.
Right.
That's wild.
I look back on it I mean, I guess I didn't have the other experience to know what it would be like to be switching social
Mhm.
circles all the time, every 3 years. But I really value that I like sort of that I knew them when. Do you know what I'm saying? In some
Sure.
capacity, like I knew them when they were 5 and I knew them when they were 18. I'm not in touch with many people from high school, but when I am, and then when I also see them on social media, I always think I knew you when you were in kindergarten. And
They're saying that about you. They're watching TV being like, I knew that guy when he was picking his nose.
and boy, did I pick my nose.
You're going to this school and somehow you got into skiing?
Yeah.
Again, I'm from San Antonio, so skiing is completely foreign concept to me. How did you happen to get into skiing and why did you feel so passionate about it? Why did you fall in love with it so much?
It's one of those things that I thought every kid did. Like, I didn't realize that I was like unique in the fact that I was part of a ski family because, every winter we'd go down to the club starting a little bit before Christmas if we got a great snow, and we would ski all the way through hopefully the beginning of April. And every weekend we would go down to the lodge and spend time and, go out on the slopes and then, at lunch, have lunch with all your ski friends. I just thought that's like what happened.
This sounds like you lived on a TV show. Like, is this real?
I think I did. That's what I'm realizing. No, my father got into skiing later in life. He had me when he was 43 and picked up a lot of sports, sort of like tennis very later in life, but was an athletic guy and really liked to become like a professional at it, wanted to become perfect at it until he conquered the sport. And so skiing was one of those. So he then decided to become a ski coach, like a race coach. And so at the age of 6, I mean, I was skiing at the age of 3, but at the age of 6, I joined the race team. And that's basically what I did year round, because when we weren't on the slopes, we were training, like dryland training, doing like sprints and jumps and hikes and, lots of different physical fitness tests and stuff like that to sort of train for the coming winter season.
When you say the race team,
Yeah.
we're talking about snow skiing race team?
Downhill racing, like the Olympics, alpine.
Like Lindsey Vonn?
Like Lindsey Vonn. Yeah, exactly. At that time, there were a fair amount of Olympians coming from that area of the country, including there was one from my home club named Sandy Williams. And then there were, I think, now I'm forgetting their names, but like AJ Kitt, I think, came from that area. And then this woman skier named Sandy, I'm forgetting her last name, but she came actually from this really small, it was literally a hill called Brantling. We would go there to race, usually slalom, like the tighter course, but they were like 30-second courses. And you would get on a little rope tow and go up, I don't know, it felt like 100 feet. And then you would ski down quick and then you go up again and ski down. And it was crazy because you would think, how did an Olympic skier come from this little hill? And I imagine it's because you would get so many runs in. You spent so little time sitting on the chairlift waiting to get off to go down. And you would just go up and down and up and down and up and down and get more gate time than other racers who are on bigger mountains.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
All of that sounds completely foreign to me. That just sounds crazy. Was this race team like affiliated with your school, or was this an extracurricular activity?
It was extracurricular. It was actually associated with the mountain. So every local mountain, there were 5 mountains at the time near Rochester, New York, that had race teams. And we would all 5 race against each other until we went to like states and then the Junior Olympics and all that stuff.
So it's like a tennis club, but it's skiing. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't participate in the school team.
There was a school team?
There was eventually, like in high school.
America is weird.
America's crazy.
We don't have that here for sure. And we don't have, what is that other thing that they do up north? Lacrosse. We don't have that here either.
Oh, we had the best girls lacrosse team in the state. Big sport. Girls lacrosse especially was very big at my high school.
Sure. That's wild. So you're really into skiing. You're skiing your skis off. You're skiing left and right and up and down, and you're slaloming all over the place.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what I want to do? I want to try out for the Olympics. Was this the Junior Olympics?
Yeah. So at one point, I remember one year I was at this mountain, and it was a really rainy, icy day. And we were doing a slalom course, and everyone kept falling as we were going down the course. And I'm a pretty technical skier. I also don't like to fall. Like, I think it's like some
You're
people.
the one guy who doesn't like to fall?
I'm it. You got me. But I think some racers are fast because they're unafraid of falling.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they crash out. Like when you watch those Olympic runs, like how many of them just sort of crash out?
Lindsey Vonn just did it, right?
Exactly. I'm the guy who's like, no, I'm going to make it down. And because that day everyone was falling, I placed really high. I can't remember. And it qualified me for this big race.
So you really were the one who did not fall down.
Yeah. I really thought that I would be training to go to the Olympics. But the thing is, it's sort of at the same time, I was also falling in love with acting. And they sort of happened at the same time because a lot of the theater productions would happen in the winter when ski season was. And so I was constantly splitting my time or saying, oh, I can't make this practice because of this, or I can't make this rehearsal because of this. So I got cast in something that made it so that it was hard for me to practice in December, which was like a big deal because that's sort of all the prep time you get for those initial races in January.
Right.
And I showed up to a practice and I thought I could just jump right in, and I couldn't. My skiing was a mess. I needed to take a couple runs, and my coach barked at me. It wasn't my dad at the time. It was another coach. And he was like, you need to be here. You need to be doing this. And I think at that moment, it just became very clear to me that what my priorities were. And I was like, I think this is the end of me ski racing.
Oh, nice.
It was a scary decision, though, because I think for 2 weeks I didn't go to practice, but I also really didn't tell my dad that I wasn't ever going to go to practice. I sort of tried it on, I think, to see what it felt like to not do that. Until finally, I think he asked me point blank, he's like, are you never going to go to practice again? And I was like, yeah, I think so.
And he was like, what are you doing? The only reason I got into this was because of you.
Yeah. He was surprisingly very supportive of it. He was a pretty strict dad growing up, so I sort of expected him to be a little more disappointed than he was.
Which makes sense why you wouldn't have told him.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. He had a real appreciation for the arts too. And I think he saw that I really loved it. And I think he just wanted me to do what I really like, just in the way that he would pick up a sport and like become obsessed with it. I think he wanted me to have the same level of love and passion for the thing that I was doing. And he saw that I had that with acting.
Sure. And he saw that you were good at it. If you were not good at it, he'd probably been like, maybe you should get back on the slopes, bruh.
Yeah.
You were skiing. You decided not to ski. You're deciding maybe I have a little bit more passion in the acting. You had to have also looked around at a certain point and been like, let's see here. I can make money as an actor, and the only way I can make money as a skier is if I'm like one of the 5 best in the country and I get sponsorships. They don't have ice capades for skiers.
Yeah.
Right?
No. That'd be amazing, by the way.
That'd be wild. There'd be a lot of audience.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's, you can go to a basketball game and there's 50,000 people there. Where can you go to do your thing if your thing is skiing? I think you made the right call.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it now, for sure. I don't know that I would have felt that way maybe in my 20s when I was really struggling as an actor, but I wasn't very smart about going into a profession where I was going to be guaranteed a nice paycheck.
For sure.
Week. I really was like, no. I really want to risk that. I want to be a renter for the rest of my life.
Yeah. You know what would be cool is if I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from. Wouldn't that be a dream? I don't even know what city I'm going to work in next time.
You know what I love? I love living hand to mouth. It's funny because both my parents worked for Eastman Kodak.
That makes sense. That's the only thing I know about Rochester is that's where Kodak was.
Yeah, they were company people. They were company their entirety of their careers. My dad was a PhD in chemistry and worked in the labs there, and actually met my mom in the chemistry labs before she moved on to do engineering on copiers and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I know that your father is no longer with us.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I know he didn't get to see the super success that you are now in your career. Did he get to see a taste of it? Did he get to see any of your acting success? I don't know how long ago he passed.
He passed in 2016. So no, not really. A lot of my stuff started around Slave Play in 2021. I had done a couple TV shows, a couple movies. I had done an off-Broadway play. So he didn't get to see this. I don't know. I've never thought to myself, I mean, of course I wish he had seen it, but I never thought that he didn't. Does that make sense?
It does. And I hope that I didn't just throw that in and now you're going to be all depressed for the rest of the day. No, just know that, instead of getting to see you in one or two things, he's getting to see everything you do now. He gets to watch all of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Hey, Streetwalkers. Now there's an official Fascination Street podcast Patreon. The episodes are just as deep, but a whole lot more fascinating. On the Fascination Street Patreon, we're keeping it simple. There is only one tier. No confusion, no levels, no upsells, just one way in. For $5 a month, you'll get every episode ad-free. No interruptions, no distractions, which gives you a more direct connection to the show. And also, there's a place to hang out with fellow streetwalkers and be part of the community on Patreon. If you love the stories, the conversations, and the vibe of Fascination Street podcast, this is the best way to support it and get even more out of it. No tiers, no ads, just $5 and you're in. Welcome to the inner circle. $5, no ads, that's it. Patreon.com/Fascination Street podcast.
Let's get back into it.
You did mention Slave Play.
Yes.
When you were in Slave Play, were you on Broadway?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Slave Play is the most Tony Award nominated Broadway show in history. Is that correct?
I think it was.
Until what, Hamilton?
Oh, Mary, maybe?
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing. I just remember that mark got passed by something recently.
Got you. But at the time that you did it,
That's right.
It was the thing.
It was.
You're a pimp.
Yeah.
That is such a unique story, Slave Play. For the listeners who are around the world, can you just describe the synopsis? Can you tell what is Slave Play about and why did you decide to be a part of it? Because if I understand correctly, the role that you were in was not written for anyone like you.
Well, it was. Okay. So Slave Play, I can't go too much into it because it's a pretty complicated plot.
Sure.
But what I will say is that it's about race, how race exists, and specifically Blackness exists in relationship in America, and more specifically in sex. It's a really provocative play. It's shocking. While I was in it, someone would walk out almost every night for many reasons. There were so many reasons people had. They felt deeply while watching that play. The character that I played was written for someone was white passing, but wasn't all white. So written sort of for me.
Okay.
But also not for me specifically, if that makes sense. I came into it after it had been developed and gone through a whole run by my predecessor, who was very good and also Tony nominated for the role. It was a really unique experience to be a part of it in the fact that it came back to Broadway, and I did it on Broadway to a lot of people who loved the play and were fans of the play, wanted to see the new thing. And so it was very celebratory in a lot of ways, in the way that New York had already accepted it. It had been the most Tony nominated play ever. And then when we went to LA, it was like I got to experience everyone seeing it for the first time and what that was like.
So you did it on Broadway and in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I transferred with it to Los Angeles to the Mark Taper Forum. Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't just an intense play for the characters, but for the actors.
Yeah.
This was like a journey of emotion every night for everybody, but we're talking about you. So specifically for you, this was like a difficult journey in a different aspect almost every night. How do you think that being in that play changed Devin?
Yeah. Well, first off, Robert O'Hara, who's the director of that production, really made sure and fought for that the actors in the play had mental health days. that we could call out in the middle of a run, no matter what, no reason asked, and still get paid and just sort of like be able to like take a break from the play.
Because it was so intense, right?
Yeah. It was really hard to be in because the play was written for people of specific racial backgrounds. So whether you liked it or not, your body was a part of the play. People were responding to you and who you were. And as much as you tried to compartmentalize from the fact that this is a character and that these are not my words, these are someone else's words, right, that were written to tell a story, it was, when you living through it, a very personal experience. And I think the thing for me that I learned was how different people responded to not me specifically in my life experience, but my body and who they thought I was based on what I looked like and what that meant to them. And people would say things in the audience where they would sort of yell at my character, right? Where they would heckle me, or after the show, they would ask me questions that were like a little bit like, you perceive something different in the play than this. And that was like a really interesting thing because as a mixed race person, I don't look at myself as I walk through the world. I look out through my eyes, right? And so in my life, I grew up the grandson of a white General Motors factory worker who was part of a union and lived in Michigan and whatever like that was, and also the grandson of a Japanese man who was interned in the Japanese internment camps. Those are both my story. And so I don't see myself as one thing or the other. Or sorry, I don't feel one thing or the other. But the way people see me can feel that way, right? And it was interesting, the character notwithstanding, being part of the play notwithstanding, to experience that, pun intended, black and whiteness of the world while being the child of an interracial marriage. I don't know that I said exactly what I learned, except that I learned that not everyone sees me the way I see myself.
For good or for bad.
Yeah, for good or for bad. And the in-between.
That question was, how did being in the play change you? And now this is a question because, like we said, that role was written for a mixed race person, not necessarily the same mix that you are.
That's right.
How did your being in the play change the play? Do you think it opened it up?
You know, I feel like that would be better asked to someone who came to see the play, who understood what it is to be Asian in America. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be in the play is one thing. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I was representing what it was to be Asian in this conversation, but there's no reference in the play to this character being Asian. So we don't really get the nuance of that conversation so much. And I think that's on purpose because Jeremy O. Harris, who wrote the play, didn't want to focus on that conversation. That was not the priority. It was mainly about the conversation between blackness and whiteness, right? And so I don't know what it was like to be an Asian person sitting in the audience watching it and where you sort of fell on the line. I would say, because as I learned from everyone who watched the play, the general audiences, that Asian people are not a monolith and they probably felt very differently depending on their own life experience.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor, maybe you could confirm or deny. I heard a rumor that therapists were telling their patients to see slave play and then they would discuss it in their one-on-one sessions. Is that true?
I did hear this. Actually. I think, in fact, I started seeing a therapist as I was doing that play. It was revealed 2 months after the play closed that he had seen me in the play, which we didn't go much into, but it was very funny because, you know, I was definitely in my underwear in that play. And I thought, well, I guess I've been naked in front of you in multiple ways at this point.
I know your mom saw the play. What did she think about? Okay, so for one, yeah, you're in your underwear, but
yeah,
the play centers around sex,
yeah.
And some of that sex is a little on the aggressive side, and some of the confrontations between the characters get a little aggressive. How did your mom react when she saw that? Like being naked in front of the whole world, getting into fights and screaming and all of the things.
She didn't say much about that.
Like, oh, this popcorn was great.
Yeah, she was sort of I don't know if like she talked about it later to other people, but she didn't talk about it to me. I will say that we had these brilliant intimacy coordinators during that production who really allowed us to explore that work safely with each other. And that made me ultimately feel very comfortable doing that in front of an audience every night, so much so that I wasn't really thinking about it. The only time I thought about it was the first performance when I was like, this is my first. It actually was not my first time being on stage in my underwear, but it was definitely my first time in my underwear doing the things I was doing in front of other people. And that first performance, I thought, well, here we go. And it felt like I was ripping off a Band-Aid. But after that, I felt very safe. You know, I should ask her. I don't know. She is very thoughtful, but I think she maybe wouldn't want to make me feel any certain way about it, you know? So maybe would sort of like shy away from asking too many questions until the appropriate time. But yeah, she didn't say anything about it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hats off. From what I have heard, the clips that I've heard and seen of that play, good God, that seems like a massive undertaking. It seems like it was very emotional every single night.
Yeah.
So good job on that. Why do you think it is that you went to go to get an MFA from NYU? Was it just close?
You know,
and also, did you go to Tisch?
I did. I went to Tisch twice. I'm an NYU squared person.
I was going to say.
Yeah. The first time I went in musical theater for 2 years and then sort of like transferred out of musical theater. Quickly sort of like realized that I didn't want that life. And I really wanted to become just a plain actor. I don't even know what that means, but I wanted to do plays. I wanted to do film and television. It was presented to me the opportunity. I didn't decide to audition for grad school, actually. NYU had gone through their audition process and hadn't found a class that they were completely happy with. And so they asked for recommendations from their alumni and student base for actors that they thought would be good fits for the program. And I was recommended by Kate McCluggage, this actress I had gone to a summer program with, and this other acting mentor who I had met, Lisa Rothy. And these two people sort of gave me a recommendation. I went in. I got a call on a Tuesday to bring in 4 monologues and a song on a Wednesday.
Jesus.
And then had a call back on Thursday and then had an offer to be in the program an hour later.
Wow.
So it was like a very quick, serendipitous experience. And I'm so grateful for it. It's the community I always wanted to be a part of. It made me want to be a better person. It made me a better person.
In what way?
You know, acting is living truthfully in imaginary circumstances, thinking, seeing, and breathing. And the only way to do that is to have greater understanding of yourself as a human and also a deep empathy for other people and their given circumstances. So through that process, I found out so many things about myself and about the human condition that just taught me to be a better human in this world. I don't know actually that I became a better actor until like a decade after the program because I was so busy learning those lessons throughout those 10 years. But I feel now the reverberations of that training and how full and malleable my instrument is. I will forever sing the praises of NYU grad acting. I think it's a great program.
Nice.
Yeah.
You mentioned community. Let's talk about a specific community.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Chicago community. I'm confused. Bear with me here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are on a show called Chicago Med.
Yes.
What confuses me is, dude, what is going on with Chicago actors? So the actors that were in Shameless are also on The Bear, and they're also on Chicago Fire, and they're also on Chicago Med, and they're also in All Her Fault, which was filmed in Chicago. Like, I'm just like wondering, like, are some of these people on house arrest and not allowed to leave Chicago? What is going on? And how is it that you're flying back and forth? Because you do shrinking, I'm assuming in Los Angeles, and then you're doing Chicago Med, I'm assuming in Chicago. Like, how do you manage flying? You know, I mean, Chicago, let's just say it's in the middle of the country, and then now you're on the coast, but then now you're in the middle of the country, but then you got to be here. And then how are you doing all this? And are you allowed to be in both places?
Yeah, exactly. Why hasn't Chicago put me under house arrest?
Seriously.
I don't know the full ins and outs of the crossover between those Chicago shows and the actors. I imagine it's because one Chicago shooting season is about anywhere between 8 to 10 months. And so if you're there and present and there's another show shooting and you're available, that's an opportunity that would maybe get thrown your way because you're top of mind and very talented. But, I don't really know how that all pans out. For me, yeah, I just fly back and forth and you just sort of cross your fingers that the plane takes off so that you land in the right place. In fact, when I booked Chicago Med, I was shooting the final episode of Shrinking season 1 and they overlapped. They had a conflict. And I remember the productions had to work out together that I could make from one city to the other. So I shot my wedding in the afternoon. I got on a red eye that night. And the next morning I was getting fitted for my lab coat for Chicago Med and then shot the next day.
Not in the business, but in other businesses. Like, let's just say that, I don't know, let's say you were a cook at this restaurant on this side of town, and you're a cook in that restaurant on that side of town. In the real world, not the Hollywood world, like not in the acting, but if you're supposed to be on the other side of town at your other job, they don't care. Like, you'll be fired. Like, how is it that production, I guess, teams or companies, I mean, you're a producer. Why are they willing to work with each other in such a way? Like, how come?
Well, I don't know that they always are. So I want to applaud both production departments for making that happen for me.
For sure.
It takes a lot of manpower and time to get approval on any decision that you make on any of these big productions, right? So I imagine once you get to the yes, you want the yes to work, Also, both of those production teams, they really understand what it is to be in this business, and they understand that work is work and you need to work. And I think that they were cheering for me, that they wanted me to have both things. And again, I'm going to say the word grateful, but I'm grateful that they worked it out so that I could be at both places, because it's led to 6 seasons of television, 7, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're also grateful. I also have to imagine that there has to be a little of maybe, you need a favor from me this time, and sometime in the future I might need a favor from you, like from the production people.
Sure.
So maybe that's got a little something to do with it.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Beneath a dead world, humanity's last survivors live in Subterra.
I care about one thing, keeping Subterra's power uninterrupted. If Subterra goes dark, we are doomed.
A buried city of chipped citizens, forgotten miners, and those who have never seen the sun.
You took a big risk coming here.
I didn't have a choice.
Go back home, girl. You'll get killed down here, or worse.
But in the lower levels, the unchipped have become invisible, and invisibility breeds rebellion.
We want justice for our dead!
You will learn to obey.
When a rigged trial ignites the darkness, a blind orphan, a bunker princess, and a rebuilt combat robot are thrown into a fight that could change everything.
Fellow citizens of Subterra, you are here to witness the adjudication of an unchipped bunker orphan known as Ace.
You want me to lie?
I want you to help me clear your name.
By blaming Ace for something he didn't do? He's innocent, and you're gonna kill him.
What I have set in motion will change this place forever. There will be a new order in Subterra, and it will not be kind to people like you.
No. I'm staying here.
Stay here, then. Stay and die.
Because underground, hope doesn't disappear. It survives.
Let the battle begin!
Advance!
Defend your home! Defend your brothers and sisters!
Subterra. Available now. Download wherever you find podcasts.
Let's get back into it.
Why is the TV show 6 Feet Under so important to you?
Oh, wow. Well, I saw myself in so many of those characters. They really became my family. And it was the first television show. Well, no, actually, the first one was Ally McBeal.
Well, sure.
I fell in love with Ally McBeal. They were my family. I was so sad when that show went off the air. But then 6 Feet Under, I think, also married the type of storytelling I wanted to do, like drama with sort of a lot of dark comedy. I've always been fascinated with grief. And as an artist, I really like to explore the way in which joy and grief intersect, which then is not surprising to me that I would end up on a show called Shrinking about those very same things. And I really saw myself in Claire, because at the time I was a young actor going to school, and she was sort of this young, lost photographer trying to find her way, making mistakes. And on top of that, every actor in that show, including Michael C. Hall and Peter Krause, who are both NYU grad alumni, there was just so much about that was so exactly what I want to do and what I want to be a part of, and also what I want to make in the future. I think that the series finale of that show is arguably one of the best series finales ever to be on the air. And when it ended, I remember sobbing for an hour and a half because of how beautiful it was and how joyous and how sorrowful it was. And also because I would never get to spend time with my family again.
So you're saying that it's even better than the finale of Seinfeld?
Well, I'm not going to get myself canceled, but I think I might be saying that.
That is hilarious. Okay, so you play Kai, a surgeon on Chicago Med.
Yes.
You play Charlie, the doting hubby and new father, spoiler alert, on Shrinking. You do these at the same time. Are you any better at surgery now than before you started?
I'm so much better at surgery.
That's good.
I think I could go into surgery. They just haven't let me into the OR yet whenever I try. But one day when I walk into a hospital, I'm going to do my own surgery on myself.
Oh.
Because that's the only way they'll let me in. No, I haven't got any better. Though I do feel like I have some more medical knowledge. And in fact, there are times when we're like all sitting in the cast room talking about some doctor things. Well, they really should do this, like as if we're medical professionals at this point.
There's the medical consultants on staff, of course.
Yes.
And I heard that you really dive deep into it because you want to make sure you're saying the right things, doing the right things, holding instruments the right way. I think that comes from your dad, where if he gets interested in something, he just goes all the way into it because he wants to be the best he can be. And I think that really shows in your character because you'll watch TV shows and somebody's holding something, and if you know anything about whatever that is, you're just like, what are they doing? Why are they holding? They've never held that before in their life. But I think that when we watch you do it, I think your attention to detail and your drive to be exact in that moment, I think that really comes through with your characters. You're doing a great job is what I'm saying. And it doesn't go unnoticed, like the detailness of it.
I'll give you the $100 that I owe you for that compliment later.
Thank you. It was ham-fisted, but hey, $100 is $100. On Shrinking, you play the doting husband and new father. Are you any better at being a husband?
I think I am better at being well, I'm working on it. I think I am becoming a better dad.
We're all working on it.
I know, right? I just got a new dog named Daisy, and that is teaching me a lot of patience. I know dogs are not exactly the same as babies, but...
Oh, they're a lot closer than people like to admit. Yeah. I've had both. They're very similar.
Sometimes I actually find myself feeling like I wish that I was as good at being as good a partner and as good a father as Charlie is. Like his instincts, his calm under pressure. He doesn't seem to get rattled very easily.
Definitely no flustering.
No. And really allows Brian, played brilliantly by Michael Urie, to just be who he is at any given time and doesn't take it too seriously. Water off a duck's back. Their love is really beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's one of the best things about the show. There's several things about the show, but that is definitely a highlight.
Yeah.
I mentioned you're a surgeon on Chicago Med. Can you give us any insight into what the hell Charlie does for a living? Do you know?
I'm a consultant and I'm in management. Isn't that enough?
No. Not even a little. What would be really cool is if, like, in 3 more seasons, we find out that this whole time Charlie is like the general manager of like the Lakers or something. Like, it's just something so huge. And it just was never brought up.
I know.
He's the general manager of Eastman Kodak.
Exactly.
Tell me about Friend of Dave.
Friend of Dave, yes. Friend of Dave is a short film made with my dear friend and producing partner, Alexandra Daniels. She had this story she wanted to tell. It was this beautiful story about a friendship she had with a young man. Well, they were both young, in their teens, and they were boyfriend, girlfriend, partners, and he was really struggling with addiction. And they then separated, and, the journey didn't end well, let's just say. And she wanted to tell a story about what it would be like if they were reunited and had both found themselves on the healed side of that journey. It was a beautiful script, and I was so happy to be a part of it. And it's a labor of love. It was bringing a lot of friends together. My friend Eileen Seaton and Katie Rediger came in and did the sets and the props. And like, we filmed in one of Alexandra's friends' garages. And it was like a lot of just beautiful positivity. And it was also Alexandra's first time directing, writing, and acting in something. And so I was really happy to be supportive of that story and making sure that people saw, I don't know, what it was like to go through addiction early in life and how to move on.
More like a friend of Bill W.
Yeah.
What about Under the Lantern Lit Sky?
Yes.
Was this a full-length feature?
That was a full-length feature. It was directed by my dear friend, Michelle Bossy. It was a story about a closeted, well, it took place sort of like back in the 1920s, in earlier times, back when people didn't come out as easily, and sort of about the tension between two people who were trying to love each other, but really couldn't in the way that they needed to, and how the societal pressures really tore them apart in a way that led to, again, a really tragic ending. I seem to be only part of like very tragic, sad things now that I'm in the middle of these questions. But we shot that mostly here in California, a little bit in New Orleans, because a lot of the movie took place in New Orleans. And it was one of the first times, actually, I got to carry through a full feature, be a lead on a full feature. And it was such a gift because we got to have a tremendous amount of rehearsal to prep for shooting so that we could really make our days. And to this day, I don't know that I've ever felt more relaxed, even though the given circumstances and the stakes were so high, that I've ever felt as relaxed as an actor as I did on that set.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk just a little bit about Lucifer. Now, from what I understand, the TV show Lucifer clearly must have been made by somebody who just likes to watch pretty people take their shirts off.
Don't we all?
What was it like to be part of that show? I think you were in one episode where you're a dental assistant, or
I was in like the office admin who also was the husband of the dentist.
Right. Okay. I wonder how you got the job.
Well, okay. So this is actually a great story. That was mid-pandemic. I think that was like pre-vaccines, I even want to say.
Okay.
I was on my way in a car driving east for Thanksgiving and Christmas because I was just going to go spend time with our family and try to like quarantine as much as I could across country so that we didn't give everyone COVID. And I got the call and we had to turn back to Los Angeles to go shoot this. It was one of the most fun times I had had on set because the character was so insane. This was back obviously in like 2021. So I'm trying to like pull what happened, but he believed that Lucifer had been with his wife and cheated on him. So when he saw Lucifer, he immediately had thoughts of revenge, and Lucifer had to stop me from wanting to kill him. And so there was a lot of yelling and there was a lot of crying. There was even there's a shot of me like in my, like sort of like a patterned nurse-like garb sitting on the sidewalk, like sobbing with tears coming down my eyes, being like, there was a prenup. Like, it was a very like hilarious and also, but also like the depths of my soul type of performance. I remember the first take we did, there's this scene where I realized, wait, you're the one who you cheated on me. It was sort of farcical. And then there's this moment where I decide to leave my wife and I want to take my dog, and our dog is named Cuspid, and I invite Cuspid to jump up in my arms and I walk away. It just was so hilarious. That show was very fun.
The fact that a dentist would name their dog Cuspid is hilarious in its own right. So I know that you produce sometimes, we talked about Friend of Dave and Under the Lantern-Lit Sky, you were a producer. I understand that you're getting into the screenwriting game now. What are you writing?
Yeah.
And does it involve a chubby, bald, glasses-wearing podcaster?
Oh, I mean...
With no experience.
I mean, listen, my phone is open. Please give me have your people call up people.
Do you know some people? I need some people.
Don't we all? Yeah, so I've been an actor for a while now. I'm on these 2 beautiful television shows where I get to tell beautiful stories about people who I relate to, they're parts of me. And I have found in that work that I'm generating so much story on my own about like who our parents are, what's our home life like, all the stuff that you like, what's important, why are we talking about this? You're developing a lot of different story to basically fill in and create the life so that when you go to set, you seem like a real person who's walking in and has to go to the dentist at the end of the day. And so, being an actor is an interpretive art, an interpretive craft. I'm taking Bill Lawrence's words and I'm basically saying, okay, this is what I have. I'm going to fill in here. I'm going to show up to set. I'm going to say these things. Voila. And, when I get to watch it, the show is amazing. It's gorgeous. It's funny. It's moving. It's exactly what Bill Lawrence wants it to be. And yet there are stories that I have been like longing to tell that are just like, not coming through in the edit or just not there in the lines, whatever. And I start to be like, oh, I think I need to start generating. Like I need to be a generative artist who tells these stories, because these stories aren't just like stories that I want to tell so that I can act more. They're stories that I want to tell because they're important to me and they're an important POV that I think the world needs to hear. That's why I loved being a part of Slave Play, was because it was an important story for people to hear, whether or not you liked the play. And so I've started jumping in and I'm writing stories that are not just about one character's POV about this thing that's important to me, but also multiple characters. I'm getting to build a world who all have different opinions, and I get to have a conversation with myself. And I'm finding myself to be so excited by this. I'm excited by the idea of getting to share these things that I'm coming up with on the couch with my tea while looking at other people's scripts and interpreting their words, and getting to share the entirety of my point of view. So I've started writing. I'm on my second pilot, and I've been starting to share it and send it around the first one. And I'm getting lots of positive feedback, and I'm very excited about this.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Warning. Not listening to Fascination Street podcast may cause unexpected side effects. Side effects may include sudden fits of boredom, irrational curiosity about everything you missed, the inability to name your favorite podcast interview, spontaneous ignorance of obscure celebrity stories, talking to coworkers about nothing because you didn't hear the latest episode. Other symptoms may include excessive use of the phrase, "Wait, what happened?" Chronic seriousness with no trace of laughter or delight, unexplainable urge to scroll aimlessly instead of being entertained. In rare cases, not listening may lead to wandering aimlessly through podcast apps, overexposure to true crime reruns, and thinking you're cooler than you actually are. If you find yourself experiencing any of these symptoms, stop what you're doing immediately and download Fascination Street Podcast. Ask your podcaster if Fascination Street Podcast is right for you. Spoiler alert, it is.
Let's get back into it.
So you're starting your screenwriting deep dive, right? You're going to do this thing like your dad did, like you do with your surgery background. So you're just like, you're diving head first. You're really getting in there. You're getting elbow deep.
Yeah, I was talking to an executive the other day, and she was like, wow, you're doing this. And I was like, yeah, who am I going to ask permission from?
Good for you. How long did it take you to realize you don't need to ask permission?
Oh, yes. Come on.
That laugh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working on that in therapy right now. I mean, it's an ideal, right? I think it's a belief It's a great question for Bill Lawrence.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't think he asks for permission. And if he does, how does he feel about that? Because I would love to know the answer. I look at him and I think, look at this guy. He has 4 or 5 television shows on the air right now, 3 of them currently airing. It's incredible.
Wait, what are the 3?
Currently airing, Shrinking.
Scrubs and Ted Lasso?
No, and Rooster.
What's Rooster?
Which is a new show on HBO with Steve Carell.
Oh, okay. And then Ted Lasso's coming back, too. It's like they just finished their 4th one.
Ted Lasso's coming back, and Bad Monkey's coming back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That's crazy.
So 5 shows, and there are more that I'm sure his production company, Doozer, is producing, and I'm sure he has more that he's cooking up. But what I love about what he's been able to do is he's created a genre of hilarity and heartfelt. And he is able to tell that in workplaces, different environments, different actors, and everyone feels fresh and new and fun and also meaningful. These people are people's friends. There's a reason Scrubs is returning. These people are people's friends. Anyways, I look up to him as someone who has been able to, and I know it's not the exact same career path because I'm not just a writer, I'm a writer-actor. It's sort of a different thing that I'm whatever, but I look at him and think about the fact that he has the confidence to move forward, even when it seems like we're in an industry downturn and a contraction, and he's still able to spin some gold.
Okay, hear me out.
Yeah.
I think we find out that Charlie is the head operations manager for the whatever Greyhounds in Ted Lasso. That's what Charlie does.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, Charlie and Brian go on vacation to the Florida Keys. They're going to be a Bad Monkey. And I don't know if you know this, but Kai is a surgeon who might need to be on Scrubs. I'm just saying, I will call Bill. I'll tell him there's multiple crossover event opportunities here. We might have to get Dick Wolf's permission for some of this, but I think we can make this happen.
You definitely will. It's not just a One Chicago crossover. It's a One Chicago Doozer crossover.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, we love it.
So you've written these 2 pilots. Yeah. You're shopping the first one, it sounds like, or you haven't started shopping it yet?
I'm just in the preliminary motions of that.
Do you want me to make any phone calls for you? Do you want me to call the president of Hollywood?
I want you, yeah. You have his number? Been trying to get it.
It's a she. Don't be sexist.
Oh, sorry. She. Oh, my gosh. Wow, my bias. Thank you.
Can you share anything about, I know you can't tell me everything about especially the first project that you're shopping, but are you looking for network? Are you looking for, you want to say bad words? Are you looking for HBO? Are you looking for streaming? What are you looking for? In your ideal world, if you could have anything you wanted.
Yeah. So this first one is bad words, streaming. Second one is network, because I wholeheartedly believe in network television. I love network television. That's where I fell in love with television. It's network television. And I think it has the capacity to do what streaming can't. Network television is so aspirational in how to be a better human. I know that can exist on streaming, but I just think there's something about the purity of network television. And I think that's why I love Bill Lawrence's work so much too, is because he came from network, you know? So he has that aspirational quality, even though now he's in streaming. So the first one, Bad Words, it's a really voicey script. It's very much sort of teaches you who I am, what my mind thinks. It's a comedy, half hour, very funny, if I do say so myself. It explores exactly what we've talked about here sort of today, which is the ways in which joy and sorrow are so close together. Grief, and also unfinished business between 2 people who were together in life, but maybe didn't know each other very well.
Wow. That sounds like I'm going to have to invite you back just so that we can talk about that. Wow. It sounds like you have some unfinished business, my friend.
I do.
Don't we all?
That's also why I love television, is I love a cliffhanger. I love a season finale, you know?
Yeah, those are cool, except that now, well, especially now with streaming, right? So let's just say you watch all of Bridgerton season 4 in 3 days, right? Or whatever it is. Those stories take a lot of work and a lot of time. So then you're you're sitting there on this cliffhanger for what seems like an eternity. Like you're waiting a year and a half to find out what happens. And that's not like when we were kids, when you just had to get through the summer to figure out what was going to happen to the Hulk or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. You used to not have to wait that long.
It's crazy. It drives my wife nuts. She's like,
oh
my God, I got to wait. How long?
Well, then you're like, now I got to do a rewatch because do I actually remember what happened?
Exactly. That's true. That's true. Devin, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Simple. At Devin Kawaoka on Instagram. I don't do TikTok. I don't do X. That's what it's called now.
Sure.
Instagram. I'm a plain and simple millennial.
Is there any place other than that, like do you have a website or a secret project that you want people to go take a peek at?
No, I mean, I want everyone, if they have not started watching Shrinking, start now. Season 1.
Who has not started watching Shrinking? Jesus.
I know.
It is an amazing show.
It's so good. Shrinking is so good. And we're in the middle of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so touching. Beautiful. Beautiful acting done by all. It's an amazing ensemble.
Oh, it is an outstanding ensemble. I am going to give you one bone of contention that I have about this show. And since it's you can probably fix this for me.
Great, yeah.
It comes out once a week. Come on, bro. What is happening? Now I have to wait. I got to wait like 7 days to find out what's going on.
I love it. Appointment television.
Ugh.
Nothing better than appointment television.
Oh, man. I tell you what. So I feel like the streaming services got us all trained to not have to wait. And now they're all going to, maybe they should have to wait. Like, what are you doing?
I think that's why I also like now I like appointment television. I like that you have to wait a week. I like that you're the water cooler talk. Did you see what happened this week?
Did you? Oh my God. No spoilers. You didn't watch it yet? Oh, I can't tell you. But I might, but I won't. But maybe you'll overhear me telling somebody else. Yeah. They're trying not to be spoiled kind of thing, you know, whatever. Like if you're watching Love is Blind, then you have to stay off of social media until you're done with the whole show.
I find myself posting, like, you know, when I'm like sort of like sharing stills from the production, I try to wait a week before I share stills from the... At least, because, you know, it's like, oh man, I didn't want to know that happened, you know? And not that like Shrinking is a particularly cliffhanger like show, you know, it's not like Lost or anything, but still, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you post it too soon, then maybe people are going to find out that Derek really did die. Wait, what?
Well, we don't know which one.
Oh, no. Devin, I know that we talked about some things, but as we're heading out, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about that maybe I didn't bring up? Like, did we cover the big bits today?
Steve, this has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for having me.
Devin, believe me when I tell you, this is 100% my pleasure. And I promised I wasn't going to do this, but my wife is so excited that I'm talking to you. When I told her, because she was like, oh, who are you talking to today? And I told her, she squealed like a little girl.
Oh.
She was like, oh my God, I love him so much. Oh my gosh. So as much fun as it was for me to talk to you, my wife is going to be chomping at the bit for me to hurry up and get this thing out. She is one of your biggest fans. She loves you so much.
Well, please send her my gratitude. I'm so glad that she's watching the show.
You're the best. Devin, dude, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and your hectic being a surgeon while also doing some secret management position job thing.
I'm a consultant, Steve, and don't you forget it.
Oh, I already forgot it. Good luck on your screenwriting. I can't wait to have you back. Maybe we'll talk about some other things, and I will let you go, my man.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome, buddy. It was good to talk to you.
Perfect. Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Bye.
Opening music is from the song FSP Theme, written, performed, and provided by Ambush Vin. Closing music is from the song Kosh, written, performed, and provided with the blessings of Kosh Mojo himself. If you like the show, tell a friend. Subscribe and rate and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts. All episodes are available ad-free at patreon.com/Fascination Street Podcast. And don't forget to follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And again, thanks for listening.